Would you like to quilt pretty flower designs in your springtime quilts? Hello, my quilting friends! My name is Leah Day, and we are custom quilting today. Just in case you've never heard of that before, it's a long arm quilting term that refers to quilting different designs into the different spaces of our quilts. And those different areas include blocks, sashing, triangles, and quilt borders. Now, all of the designs that we're using in this video can be found in the new Spring Flowers Quilt Stencil collection. Purchase the collection, download the PDF to your computer, and start printing out the designs. You just use regular printer paper for these stencils. It works just fine, and you can print as many stencils as you need, as often as you need them. So you could use this collection to quilt dozens of quilts. Now, I am demonstrating these techniques on a new quilt panel. I've designed this spring quilt panel and put it up on Spoonflower. And you can check below the video for a link if you'd like to follow along. Now, when I'm push quilting, that means pushing the quilt over my tabletop with my machine stationary. I always start in the center of the quilt and work my way outward. And it's going to feel progressively easier the further I get out from the center. So this is our 8-inch block design, and you can see it actually comes as a quarter of the design. And I did this intentionally because it can be sometimes hard to print a nice 8-inch square, nice and square, on a piece of paper without it getting shrunk or cut off slightly by your printer. So I cut it into quarters, and we do this with all of our larger block sizes. So you stitch a quarter of the design, then grab your next stencil and just slide it right up against the first one, lining it up with the edges of the quilt block. These blocks are not they're not designed tight, which means that there's extra background space all around the flower design, and that allows you to get it in, have it nicely fit, even if your piecing is not exactly perfect. So here you can see I flowed right into my next stencil, and I'm just going to wash and repeat until I get this entire thing done. Now, big quick tip. Make sure to only place one stencil, one loose, wiggly, wobbly stencil on your quilt at a time. Trying to have multiple stencils on the quilt, taping them down, it really makes it more challenging than it needs to be. You can also place the hexagon shaped blocks into 8-inch quilt blocks. You will have a little bit of a gap on the sides because, of course, hexagons are taller than they are wide. We have 6, 8, 10, and 12-inch block designs, but you can always mix and match these with our sashing design. So here you can see a 6-inch block with some 2-inch sashing, and we also have corner turns. So that way you can do these really cool little mini borders within your blocks. And of course, you can also just place a strip over the sashing space on your quilt and stitch right across. And I included multiple widths of this design. You've got 2-inch, 1 3/4, and 1 1/2. So that way it's going to fill your space and allow a little bit of space around the edges, so you're not really overwhelming your sashing areas on your quilts. Now, have you ever tried custom quilting before? Quilting different designs in the blocks and the sashing and the borders of your quilts? If you have, please share in the comments below. I would love to hear about your quilting experience. Now, we have these nice triangles in the corners of our practice quilt, and you can fill this space in with these 6-inch right triangles. And you can see these daisies ended up becoming the densest design that we had in the entire collection. So I'm only going to use 2 of these, not very much, and then you can fill in that corner with a 6-inch block. But of course, you can continue to mix it up by using 1/4 of the 12-inch block, and you can see how nicely that fills in too. Now, you might be wondering about what to do with these rectangles. This is a 6 by 8-inch area, and I don't have anything that specifically fits this space within the stencil collection. So this is a great opportunity to take the stencils, trim them down, like cut all of the extra paper out around the design, and just see what is going to fit. So these are the 10-inch quilt blocks, just 1/4 of the quilt block. And by trimming out the extra paper around it, you can see 2 of these side by side would look really nice in that space. You could even stitch that nice right angle if you wanted to add a totally different effect to this area of the quilt. You could also fit in 1 of the 12-inch blocks and just stitch that right off the edge. And I think that that's going to fill in that area really nicely and look great. Now, our final space to do some custom quilting is our quilt borders. And I just ran out of time in this video, guys. I am going to teach this step by step in my very next video. You're going to learn how to place your corner turns. You've got 2 different corners included with our spring collection, and you've got 3 different pieces of borders that you can mix and match together to work with any size of quilt. So if you'd like to learn how to do this step by step, please check out my next video as we learn how to quilt our borders together. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my quilting channel and ask any questions that you have in the comments below. That really helps me out a lot. And of course, come and check out our Spring Flowers Quilt Stencil collection at leahday.com/flower. Until next time, let's go quilt.